Well, now the country coordinator of OFAB Nigeria, Rose Gidado, joins us now from our Abuja studio for more on this discussion. Good to have you join us, Rose. Now, let's start off with the evolving field of biotechnology. What are the prospects for Nigeria?
The prospects for Nigeria, of course, the prospects are very high. It's a promising technology. It's a technology that has been proven, to really increase food security in other parts of the world: US, Canada, Brazil, Japan, India, South Africa, Sudan, and all. And so I'm sure that it will do same, to Nigeria if Nigeria really adopts this technology very well. And you can use biotechnology to develop crops that are insect and pest resistant, crops that are drought tolerant, crops that are really climate smart, flood tolerant crops, of course, and because these are the challenges that farmers usually face in their farms, especially the insect and pest infestation that actually, make farmers to incur about 90% loss in their own farms, especially beans. When you cultivate beans, we have this maruca. Maruca larva is a butterfly, larva of a butterfly that destroys, the leaves, destroys the pores, destroys the seeds and everything. A farmer can lose everything on his farm. But with biotechnology, you can actually genetically modify, your beans to be that maruca, larva resistant. Maruca will come and will not be able to eat it, or the maruca will be destroyed. And so that increases farmers' yields, of course, and then the number of spray that a farmer will have to do in his farm will drastically go down. Right from like 8 number of sprays, it can take you down to 2 sprays, and that is cost effectiveness because those chemicals are being bought by farmers, and most of them are peasant farmers. They don't have much money. The little money they have, they spend it on chemical spray. Like the fall armyworm in maize. Last 2 years, farmers lost a lot to that fall armyworm. And some of these insects are actually as a result of the global warming we're having, the change in temperature and what, because of the greenhouse gas effects that we have. Biotechnology could actually do a lot to come up with, climate smart crops, climate smart seeds that when you plant, quality seeds, that when farmers plant, of course, farmers would have almost 100%, 90% to 100% germination rate.
Okay, and, Rose. Let me butt in here now. So many, we still have some challenges in adopting this technology. We have cultural beliefs, the acceptance level is still low. We've not necessarily seen a strong advocacy or understanding of biotechnology. To what extent does this mitigate our crop production level?
Pardon, can you come again? To
what extent does the slow pace of acceptance of biotechnology reduce our production capacity?
To actually great extent, because when you have something, you develop a technology, and the technology is not being accepted by the people. Of course, when the uptake is not there, it discourages you. The scientists do not become encouraged again. It affects it because market access. Market is the most important thing in any innovative technology. In fact, before you go into anything, you must make sure that access to market is there, because that is what will make it to be a business. That is what will earn you foreign exchange. That is what will contribute to the economy and all. And so that is really very, very important. Market access is very important. Technology uptake, by the general public, by the people, it's very, very important. And that's why advocacy is taken very, very seriously. And OFAB, the Open Forum on Agricultural Biotechnology, is one outfit that we actually initiated by AATF in Kenya, to make people, to break down this, to make people understand the technology, to mitigate, those, negative misinformation that, goes around, that is being peddled around by the anti-GM group, by the environmentalists and so on, discouraging people from the use of this technology. So OFAB is actually one platform that we use to correct those misconceptions about the technology by giving out those factual information, those scientific information that's needed by the people, you know, to dispel those fears, you know, all those rumor mongering and what, so that the technology will be better understood, and so on and so forth.
Okay.
Because that gap that exists between the scientists and the non-scientist community, of course, and then the scientists and the media, of course, we're working very hard to bridge that gap.
The gap has to be bridged, yeah. Now, yes, Rose, let's talk about how integral research is in different value chain sectors, etc. It's pretty much big, but we have resources, we have research in advanced climes, we have data abroad. But how then do we bring all of this back home? To what extent are we supposed to be pushing local research?
The local research is by technology transfer. You know, we actually have to domesticate the technology, and then we also have to contribute to it, to research and development. It is very key. We have to look at other countries that have succeeded in this endeavor and how they did it, and then we also do same, like Brazil, you know, like Argentina, like India. Nigeria was in the same, you know, level with them, but today they've gone far, they've gone higher than us. They are they are food sufficient. They even give out aids and all. And so we have to do same. We have to invest, you know, in research. If we don't invest, if the government does not put in so much money in research and development, I don't think we can make it. I think we should stay away from the quick wins, concentrating on those quick wins. It won't take us anywhere. Research and development is the bedrock of every successful economy in the world.
Exactly.
If we don't put in that money, I don't think we will go anywhere, because that is very, very important. A lot of funds should be put in. A research fund, you know, trust fund should be put in, and then those institutes that we have, the research institutes, government need to really revisit them, review, I mean, the facilities they have. Mostly, they are not up to date, you know, facilities. So we need to do all that. It's a holistic, you know, investment. It's a holistic thing. We have to do it from all ways and all.
Okay. Now, some also argue that we don't necessarily have a strong implementation of government policy on biosafety and GMOs. What's your reaction?
Biosafety and GMOs? I didn't hear you.
Yes, what's your reaction on the fact some have said we don't have a strong implementation of government policy in those areas?
Okay, anyway, we have a strong implementation of biosafety, you know, regulation in Nigeria. It's going on. The agency just came into being. They're just 2 years old. I think 4 years, I mean, like now, because the agency came into being in 2015. And the agency is actually doing a lot of capacity building, you know, of their staff. They're doing a lot of training, and they're collaborating with international institutions and national institutions. They're doing their best. As far as I'm concerned, I think a robust system, biosafety system, is being built in Nigeria and is in collaboration with international partners. And I think they're doing very well.
Let's also talk about...
All we need is more funding from the government side, you know, so that they will be well capacitated. Because there's nothing you can do to succeed without having enough capacity. The human capacity, yes, is there, but even the institutional capacity and all, we need to have those things. They need to have robust laboratory, good laboratory, functional laboratories for them to carry out their mandates very well.
This is one of the biggest times within the agricultural sector, talking about our land border closures, trying to reduce smuggling of products into the country. Now, to what extent do you think we can improve our capacity when we are talking about electronic seed certification, and how this would increase our seed sector? Because over the years, it's been challenged with weak technical capacity.
Yeah, I think the closure of border and world will actually is good. Yeah, it's a welcome development. Even though we know that some people are still talking, you know, against it, but it needs to be taken, you know, holistically. It will make us to, you know, propel us to look inwards. At least since the borders are closed, we have it means there's no other option than to develop our own system. And of course, so all we need now is for government not to just, it shouldn't be a talk show, it should be action. It should make us to swing into action, to bring out funds, you know, to develop the system, the holistic system, and especially the seed system. In the case of the seed system, the certification, of course, with funds, with enough funds, research funds, we will do well. I think it's going to be a very good, successful venture at the end. But all I'm talking about is funds. Make funds available.
Make funds available.
You need the funds and the funds are not available. There's nothing. If the funds are not available, I don't think we can make it. We cannot make it. We will make it with funds, available funds at the right time.
Okay, Rosa, I have one question for you in a summary. In a summary now, just one question before I let you go. How do we now get things right when we are talking about greenhouse farming and irrigation and working towards that, spreading the tentacles of technology to boost our local capacity?
Okay, how do we do what?
How do we improve on greenhouse farming and irrigation system this time around, since we are looking big on how we are growing our local capacity?
Okay, everything revolves around funds.
Funds.
For us to, you know, to grow in that area, because whatever you say, that is what it is. That is the center. Money, making funds available is the center of it all.
Okay.
Once funds are available, our scientists are ready to give Nigeria the best, to take Nigeria to the promised land.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Rose. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, and hopefully Nigeria's journey to food security is one that is achieved faster than we project. Thank you very much for your time.